JFrame demo implements action listener means you want your JFrame to listen to the actions. You need to implement the action. Let me show you the Java doc for this action listener interface. An interface also have a Java doc. This is an interface. And this is a package under event. So, action perform, that is the method that you need to implement. Now, the difference of the interface and the class is the class, you create the method and you have to implement the methods, right? So let me show you Java interface sample. But for an interface, you don't need to write the code. You just say eat, travel, like that. The animal can eat, the animal can travel, and then you don't need to implement. The class that implements the interface require to write the code, implementation, eat and travels inside. That makes sense? So, now we're not learning how to create an interface. We're learning how to use. When you use, you implement action listener, and you're required to implement the methods, or the method inside the interface. It's only one, which is action performed. That means I need to create a method named action performed as a void type, right? You can check void. Now you just need to import the action event and import action listener. Okay. Alright, so let's recap a little bit. I want to make sure that the button is going to listen to an event. I need to make my class JFrameDemo implements action listener. Then my frame demo can listen to actions. I need to import action listener. In order to implement, you require to implement the action performed, which is the method. Now, we're gonna make it to show something now. When I click the buttons, state option pin.show message dialog, fail authentication. Okay, now when I click the button, so I need to register the event to my button dot add action listener to this. So it's going to listen to this action. Let's test that. And it's going to do whatever this method say. Fail authentication. So I just make the buttons. Right. So JFrame demo listen to the action which is performed here. When I click the button, it's going to show the message fail authentication with the option pane. Alright. So let's recap this a little bit. In order to make your program listen, implement action listener and import, and then write action performed and import action event, Right, that's the second step. And third step is register to the button to listen to this. And that's it. I'm going to add the reset button. JBT reset equals to new Jbutton and name reset. Alright. Question is, by default, JFrame is using a border layout. How would you add reset button onto JFrame? That on the board is border layout, 3 rows. Now we have to deal with the layout. So that is why when we start to have so many components, we like to use panel, like name J panel. This is dealing with the buttons panel. I'm going to create an instance of the panel. Okay, and let's set the color. Set B background color to pink. Now, when I use color, I need to import the color from AWT class. And if you look at panel is just like part of a containers, right? Like Windows. Then you can just add. Now I'm going to add these 2 buttons to my panel. Instead of doing add, if you do add to the frame, I want to add to the panels, then I should call JPA button dot add JTX user. Oh, sorry, I'm going to do button, right? JBT button. Same. Now, for the panel, default layout is a flow layout. Flow layout means the one adding first go to the left, the second one go to the right, and keep doing as a sequence. Okay, like if I want the reset button to go to the left, I better add reset first, and then if I want this login button, JBT, let's name login. It's more meaningful now because we have more buttons. So the login button is going to go on the right. On the panel, which they're going to listen JBT login. Now I need to register event to my reset buttons too. That can listen to the same performance. Instead of adding to the sound the buttons, I'm going to add the panel. Then I have both buttons go to the sound. So let's see what we get first. So I better do pack then. There you go. Reset. That's a problem here, right? Way to reset is still say fail authentication. Login still do say fail authentication. Why? Because it's listened to the same action performed. That's going to pop up the fail authentication. Now come to your question, Chris. E is the one who's going to distinct. Okay, get action command dot equals. You can do equals ignore case. Now the command for this one is, I have the command here, log in and reset. If it's logged in, then we're going to say fail authentication. Then you need to do if else to help now. Else, if your get action command equals to reset. What we're going to do, we're going to clear. What do we want to clear? The JTX username dot set text to nothing, as well as your J password. JPA J password dot. Make sure I have the right name. JPW. Should I do caps? So that's why the name is important. If I didn't name it properly, then I have to go back and see. If I name it like standardly, then I don't need to go back and see. Reset it to nothing. Now let's test. So that is the answer to why do we need E. E is going to make the distinction between different buttons. That's one thing that we needed. Let's see if I type something. Reset. Alright. Reset is going to clear according to this. Login fail. Of course, now this is easy part. According to your previous assignment 3 to do authentication, you just pass the username and password to your authentication. Now to combining your previous class into a new class, we create two classes here, right? This is your GUI class, and we have the authentication class, right? I'm not going to use a main now. I'm going to modify this program a little bit to show you. Authentication, since I name authentication, like this is very important. I want you to stay focused, pay attention. Like normally you create a class with a main. You don't really need to. Okay. You can. I mean, static is fine if you want to leave it like that. But I want to. Let's say Boolean to return true or false. Okay. Or let's just do void for now, not making much differences. Instead of main, I'm going to name it validate, something like that. So what we try to validate, we pass in the username as the parameter and password. Now we already learned the concept, right? That you can just set it like that. Okay, let's see. This is the correct username and password. I'm not going to do anything with that. And this is the one that user input. Pass it in. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to integrate this. I leave the express the same. I'm going to integrate this back. Since what I modify, just change the main to validate, and